Hey guys, I have an updated blank journal collection for you, and I hope you enjoy. These are all the blank journals in my life right now, and here's an overview. So I'll start with this journal. This is my recent acquisition, and I got this for myself for my birthday. It's really enchanting looking, and this thing is huge, so not in a good way. Like, look at it compared to this. It's just so much bigger than most journals, and I really don't like the size, but the cover is just unique enough to lure me in. See, I got that for my birthday, for myself. I gave myself this for Christmas. This one's really unique. I've never seen anyone else with this, and they're really hard to find, and it's just so vintagey and quaint and endearing looking. And it's got a few pages of decorative in it, and then did I put anything weird in here? Okay, good. No, I didn't. This. I'll probably use this as the next one, or maybe the one after that. But I want to use this one this year. It's really, really different. I have a few normal ones, like this one is small. It's got crap on it, which I can't get off, but this was one of those cheap discount in the stores when this was like $2.99 or $3.99, something like that. And same with this one, but just plain. I put this on here as a bookmark I had in my life for ages, so I put the bookmark inside and tied this to it. I like doing stuff like that adds a little bit of history to that journal, putting in something sentimental or something from my childhood or that kind of thing. This one says Escape the Ordinary, which was kind of ironic because it's just like a plain white book. This is one of the Kate Spade ones, and it's got cute polka dots. If you get one of these, I would get one of the more modern ones. The first one I got one of these, like over, what year was that, 2013, I think? Well, it didn't have the binding fabric stripped like cover to cover, and that one fell apart in a few places before I even used it, so I didn't keep that one. And this one, the binding's better because it's like this strip is edge to edge, so get one with edge to edge thing so it'll not fall apart on you. This one, holographic awesomeness. This one just is fun. Kind of into holographic. They're just really happy looking. This one is different. There's no pocket in these, but there is a bookmark, and line spacing is a little large and a little bit too light. But this is just, I mean, if I actually wrote down my dreams, this would be a perfect dream journal, but I don't know, it's just ornate and also enchanting looking. I'm trying to do this kind of fast because there's a decent number of them here. This one I get this to myself for Christmas, and I don't really like journals that say ideas or journal on the side, but I can cover it up with some kind of patch or a Scotty dog. There's like a family story about Scotty dogs. I could do something too. I'll probably use it maybe next Christmas. I've got a matching pencil case. These two just kind of crack me up. They're Toy Story, You've Got a Friend in Me, and I put a few childhood stickers on it. This one says ooh, and then I put these glow-in-the-dark heart beads that I had as a kid. These have, you kind of have to be in the mood for using like super ornate or super playful journals like this. But yeah, it's just the inside end cover is themed and they're happy looking, so I'm really tempted to use one of these this year. I mean, I'm tempted to use a lot of them this year, but we'll see how many I actually get to. This one I wrote a few pages in. What year was that? About over 2 years ago. I wrote a few pages. When I'm like traveling somewhere, I don't like to take a journal that's like half used with me. Just in case it gets spilled on, lost, or if I'm visiting people, if they accidentally read it or whatever. So I read a few pages in this back then, and sometimes when I do that, it kind of tinges the journal. I don't feel like using it after that, so I'll probably paperclip those handful of pages that I use and then use this at some point. I love this color. It's just been one of my favorite colors for years, and it's my junior prom dress color. So I put a picture of my prom in here because the cover matches the dress, which I actually still have, which I know, antique by now. Anyway, speaking of antique, other than me, this journal, Milky Journal, I was super excited to find this. This is from the 90s. I have Milky Lunar pens used in here too. It's got black paper, which is, I've never used a black paper journal. I used Jelly Roll pens to do this. And the paper's kind of different. Like I colored pretty profusely and it's still kind of blotchy. So the paper is a little different, but it should be fine for writing. And I'm gonna use this when I'm really into gel pens and really into colorful, like doodling around and stuff. This will be a fun one to use at some point. Same with this Etch-a-Sketch. It's got like a backwards elastic. And the paper in this one is like you can actually tear it out. It's meant to do that. So I'll have to use this one carefully. There's a pencil in it. That's weird. Apparently I hate it. That's strange. Anyway, it's got these erasers and yeah, that one cracks me up. And then this one. So I was wanting one of those orange markings journal for years. I never did find that, but let me show you this perfection. It's got a indentation on it, which is weird. Can you see that? Well, I guess you can. It's pretty noticeable. But I'll probably decorate the cover of this a little bit anyway. It's just the perfect color of orange. And I was tempted to use this for Halloween, but my journaling is a little bit slower now, so I'm not like going through journals quite as quickly. But this one will be a neat one to use. Lisa Frank. This one, it's just so bright. Like every page is like this. I love this leopard print or cheetah print, whatever. Let's just go with leopard. But leopard and chevron is a bit much even for me, but it is really fun. And this, I was so excited to see them come out with journals, and it's got glitter on it. And it's just happiness in box in a book, really. But yeah, you do have to be in the mood for using these kind of themed journals, because if you're like miserable and you see a happy cover, you're like, like want to get like a lighter out and burn it or something. That didn't sound like a little bit scary or anything. But yeah, Tetris, the page edges are even Tetris-y. This one's really tiny, so this will be a good one for like around the city or travel journal, or just if I'm, writing a slump and want something that doesn't take forever. But colorful pages, that's just, yeah, I love that one. And a lot of these journals, well, actually, I cleaned out my journals over the past year, and I kept ones I'm really more excited about. Like some of the ones I picked up at discount stores are just ones that weren't my favorite. They're kind of duplicate over the years. I kind of got rid of, so there's a lot more excitement with each of them now. This VHS tape one, this one's just, there's no like elastic closure or anything, but it looks like a VHS tape, and VHS tape and Lisa Frank and Sanrio were my childhood. Let's show you the Sanrio one. Spotty Dotty. I still have the one from when I was a kid that I wrote like a little bit in, but I didn't fill. But this one is just, I bought it vintage and it's totally blank. So this one, I'm in the mood to be like nostalgic. I can use that one. And a white one I put polka dots on. I was going to use this like around the city. I wrote like a few pages like that, and then I kind of didn't go anywhere for a while. So this one's still in line to be used. This one. So I have a roommate agreement that's pretty much as intense as Sheldon's. At that show I can just relate to so much. And like all the social awkwardness and just social stuff and liking to be alone and just all this sort of thing. And the roommate agreement, mine's equally intense. I make people like sign each page too. So this journal I just needed in my life. It's themed pages, but it's my favorite TV show. Then there's this one. This is kind of bent. The whole thing is kind of smushy, but it's got pretty edges. This one is that heart lock journal I got over 3 years ago. It's still waiting in line. This is my grandma's earring I put on there. And back then I wanted to use one with a lock on it, but when it's locked you can kind of still open it up and see a third of the page. So I'll probably just use it like this, just leave this attached to this and then just close it like this instead of locking it each time. But yeah, that one is, I'm waiting to use that just when I feel like using something special like that, and when I'm writing slow enough that this takes a while to use. I don't want to fill that up in a month or something because it was this large splurge item for me. So yeah, this one, it's kind of got, this is like kind of The gold is kind of shimmery looking. I don't know. Do what you love. And then this one I've had a handful of years. It's Barnes & Noble one, and it's got purple. I like that color. And then this little miniature one I decorated, and I put this necklace charm on it. But yeah, this one is the one that has like the multiple leaves in there. I glued them together, and I glued, well, I guess I'll show you. I glued it, like I glued some pages to the front and back cover, so, because I don't like suede, like I don't like the texture of suede, so I glued it like it'd be more like a normal journal. And so you can't see like the suede in between the what do you call those? Packets. The packets of paper. Just go with that. So yeah, that little one. And how am I gonna do this? It's gonna be a mess. These are like heavy. We're almost halfway done. Let me know what your favorite is, and if you have any for like journal twins, or if you've never seen any of these, or if you like they're like all awful. But if there's any that you think I would like that I don't have, and like you want to suggest a design, like let me know. Or if you have ideas to decorate them or personalize them or anything, or if you're like, that's the most awful journal I've ever seen. Yeah, let me know. This one, I used the blue one of this a handful of years ago, and this one's really pretty. I have 5x7, and I love this design. Just kind of waiting till when it feels inspiring. This one I was kind of taking a kind of vacation type of thing. I did Times Square New Year's again, and I worked nights and played around the city during the day. So I got this butterfly thing. I got this like, wow, it was 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago? Huh. Well, anyway, it's got some Times Square confetti in the back pocket, and this kind of reminds me of that. So just waiting to use that. These three have been blank in my life since spring 2007, and I used to, in Tiny Town after that, I had put my moleskins in one bag and then other journals in another, since I mostly just used pocket moleskins for kind of a number of years. So I kind of thought that I'd use these back then I finally realized I hadn't. And this one's probably my favorite. And then this one, I have a few about me pages in here that I wrote back then. It's kind of got like a note from my past self a decade ago now, which is really neat. And I think the main reason I haven't used them because the elastic is a little bit, well, it's getting looser now, but yeah, the elastic on the one I used one of these, a little bit different design, back in 2007, and the elastic came off. I had glued it back on, but I think that's just why I haven't used them, just because one kind of broke on me. But I do like these things. They're really, this one I've been tempted to use a few times after I realized I hadn't used it already. Let's see. There's this one. I got this in Tiny Town Hallmark. I wanted to buy myself a happy. I've never been into magnetic journals, but I keep it just because I'm like, maybe if I don't have much stuff to journal for a while, I could use this. I don't know. We'll see if I actually end up using it. This leopard print one. I'm a sucker for leopard print. It's got gold edges. No closure, but there's a bookmark, and it's a cute little thing. About 5x7. Then there's this one. Is it upside down? No. Lily Pulitzer one. And this was a good deal if you know someone who's into Lily Pulitzer stuff and you want to get them something of the brand without like selling a kidney. This was like $7, I think. So it was a good deal, and it's happy looking. The lines are pink. And it feels well made. I haven't used it yet. There's no bookmark or pocket, but it's cute. And a good deal. Here's that coral one I was talking about in a video. I'm really tempted to get the beige one of this that's on my wish list, but I've used 2 lavender ones like this in this brand. And yeah, I've had this a few years. I've had these longer. I used the pink one of these. I want to say it was like 4 years ago now. Just really trippy. I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, I had the pink one of this I use, and then this, and the gray one. the pink and blue, I kind of got those too because in Tiny Town I had bedspreads that were pink and blue, and then I had like kind of bright yellow sheets. So my room color theme was pink, blue, and yellow. So those colors remind me of that. So I got the pink one of these, and this. They don't make yellow, otherwise I would have gotten that. Alright, next up is this one, which I might not leave these on there. They're not really glued, I just taped them on. But it's got this, and I like the color. It was just kind of a soothing purple. But this is like a place for a photo, so I probably will just put a photo in there. But yeah, I made a yo-yo quilt in Tiny Town. I mean, these I just bought, but like I made ones myself, kind of the smaller size with old clothes. So I use like so many old clothes in there. Some old clothes from high school. Some just I had like a childhood Halloween costume. I dressed up like a star, like the shape of a star. I had some clothes from my grandma's in there and stuff like that. So gluing these on the coverage kind of reminds me of that. I might actually take some old yo-yos that are my actual clothes and glue in here instead of just these random craft store ones. But yeah, there's that. This one I had an elastic too, and it had the textured paper inside. I took that out, put it in normal lined paper. So this one looks kind of casual, like an old friend, like an old weary, like rustic friend. I'll use that at some point. These two little jacket journals I've had for so long, probably since, let's say 2008, maybe even 2007. I can't remember where I was living when I actually got them. But they came in with just some kind of cheap paper. I put in refills from Barnes & Noble, and they fit, but they kind of go like this. So I'll probably like glue them in or something. They kind of take up a lot of space for not that large of a journal, but they're just too cutesy to not keep. That would have been a fun journal to have as a kid, or like now. This one I got over a year ago now too. Yeah, time flies when you're old. But yeah, cutesy stuff. I have washi tape that kind of matches this. This one you kind of have to be in the mood to use too because it's so peppy looking. This one is just kind of different. There's no elastic, but this one, if I was like traveling around or sightseeing around my city, I could glue stuff on. That's kind of what I want to do with this one at some point. It'd be really fun to just add little like souvenir pennies and stickers from museums and that kind of thing. And then this one is one of the ones that comes with the leather journal that I just got, the Wild Roses journal, and I'm keeping this just in case I ever want to use those journal covers again and refill it with this. Then there's this one that I added an elastic to, and I kind of didn't do that so good, but the page edges on this is not really into, but the leather feels nice and smells nice, and I like the vintageness of it. And there's this one I gave myself for Christmas 2 years ago, I think. The paper that came in it was like falling apart, the book that came in it, so I took it out, put in a new one, kind of ghetto-y. I mean, you can really tell that I replaced it. So I might redo this or just make this into a cover for a Tama River paper journal or something. I'm not really sure what I'll do with this yet, or if I'll remake it or what. But yeah, this one is a really neat looking one. Even I need to hot glue this on. In Tiny Town I had a really old place that had old keys like this, inside anyway. So this kind of reminds me of that. It's a huge journal. So I'm waiting until my writing speed picks up, so this won't take like a century to finish. But this thing is heavy and kind of magical looking, like just like you'd find in an old treasure chest or a Harry Potter movie. My friend drag me to that. It was a cool movie that I'm just not really into sci-fi. What was that movie called? The Magical Beast movie. That was a cool movie. I'm more into like comedies and Zac Efron stuff. See, anyway, this cover I used back in fall 2007, And I made another cover, and I took that journal out and put it in there. Then this one I cut down to size to fit a moleskin. So I'm not sure if I'll actually use this as a moleskin cover or what, but I'm just leaving it here for now. And I did keep a few of these little 5x7 journals. This one's kind of got some iridescent glitter on the trees, which is neat. And it's got the trees on the pages, which is kind of fun. The lines are a little light. But yeah, there's that one. This, I got this in Barnes & Noble a handful of years ago. This one I wrote a handful of pages. It is like a nighttime journal in this. And I did that, when was that? Back in fall 2013. So that was when I had the roommate Footsie, and there was another person coming to be a potential roommate, and he was a movie producer, and Footsie, he was a foot surgeon, that's why I called him Footsie, like a foot medical student surgeon, just needing a temporary place while he's doing his medical rounds. And he's like, yeah, that movie, like Footsie didn't really like the movie that the other guy made, but it turned out the other guy we couldn't accept because he'd been evicted that year, and he just was like trying to not let us notice that. Like, he spelled his name like one letter off on the application, and he was acting all impressed by like a ridiculously old microwave, and he was older, so he was like saying like, yeah, your generation's like the vision of tomorrow and all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, something's off. So yeah, we looked him up a little bit further, and he'd been evicted, so we couldn't actually have that producer live with us anyway. But it says a few pages of that, and Footsie was just such a chill person, and like was cool with showing the room last second and everything. So anyway, there's a few pages from back then. This is the first one I got in this brand. It's Peter Piper Press, and when I saw this in Barnes & Noble, I thought it was paper blanks at first. But yeah, you can feel the edges a little bit more on the Peter Piper Press one, and the paper isn't quite as smooth as paper blanks, so I can feel a difference, but it's still, like a first glance looking at it, I would have thought it was, my guess was paper blanks, but it's pretty, and it reminds me of Japan, and that was, yeah, one of the best things I did for myself ever, so that's kind of a fun one, just because it reminds me of that. This little one, I kind of forgot I was going to use this fall. I had an elastic to it, and it's a soft cover, but soft cover when it's this small doesn't really bother me. But yeah, this one might be one for maybe next fall. But yeah, I cleaned out my collection, so now I can see them all so much easier, and there's like extra room in here, and they don't get lost. And and this one was like crammed in the back, and I didn't see it this fall. Here's this little one. I've had a few years. The paper in here it's not one of the decorative page ones, it's a plus. That be a travel journal. It's really themed, so I don't know what I'll use that for. And then this one, I collect vintage postcards. I couldn't resist this. I might use it as a hobby journal and just put like details about my stamp collection and postcard collection and that kind of thing. Decorated too. And I do have a few that are like partially filled, and then one that I almost kept in high school. I put a few things from my dorm that I was staying in there, but I never actually wrote in it, so I keep those separately since those are like old and sentimental. But for just normal daily blank journals, this is it. So yeah, these two little ones I've had a while, and I sprayed these with perfume years ago, and it still smells pretty strongly. So yeah, don't spray it with too much Chanel. It really, the scent stays there forever. I could stick it in the freezer, and then that would make the scent lessen anyway. But yeah, oh man, it still smells. I think this one I sprayed with Burberry Brit, and I can really still smell it. And then another journal I sprayed Chanel in it, and I used a bunch of glue stick for collaging, so it smelled like Chanel number 5 in glue sticks. Don't do that. Bleh. But yeah, this one's really still smells strongly. But yeah, it's a little thing. There's nothing to keep it closed. But I plan to add something like that. It's really vintagey looking. I'm not really into the riches on this, but the journal itself is really classy, like you'd find in an old antique trunk type of thing. This was the one I got on the way back from a road trip a few years ago with a friend, and we went to, on the way back, we looked up this group that we were involved in, and we saw that they're having a writers club that night, so we just dropped by Barnes & Noble and got a journal and went there and showed up. So this is a page from back then, and the journal prompt was like something about like writing your fears, and then I put mine on here. And everyone was like sharing theirs, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'm not done yet, because I just didn't really know them well enough to feel like telling them like my greatest fears on Earth. But yeah, these two little things. This one is really pretty. I need to come up with a way to keep these things closed. They move up on my list of things to use. These two, I've kind of been on my list of like, should I keep these or not? I mean, they're very pretty, but detailed pages. I'm not sure what I'll use them for. I might use them for some kind of theme journal or something. They're really cute. I'm not really into magnets. The noise bothers me, and this is kind of bulky, and I like 5x7s. I like the size, but the pattern paper is at least, this paper's at least tastefully done, but I decorate journals so much I don't know if these will really work for me or not, so I'm not sure if I'll keep these two or not. But otherwise, there is my collection, and this one's kind of moved up on the list of things to probably use this year. I'm not sure how many there are blank right now, but I did clean out a decent amount this year, and I don't know, hope this was enjoyable, and let me know what kind of journals are in your blank journal collection, or if you don't keep a blank journal collection and you buy them just as you need them, or let me know if you've like changed how you do it, like if you used to have no journals on hand and now you like having blank ones, or if you used to have a bunch of blank ones and now you're like, well, I don't do that anymore, I go out and buy them like when I'm done. But I definitely like having a selection. There's just some you can find years later, but some are kind of hard to find. Like it's kind of harder to find this one now, and I've had this since 2007. So I kind of like having ones that are no longer made because I've kept them that long, and like I haven't seen this blue one in a while either. So just kind of limited edition ones, and just I don't know, it's fun to just imagine what memories I might fill these with, and envision myself enjoying using these in the future and having a life that lets me enjoy these, like a decent enough life, living, somewhere where I have enough time and a roof to be able to sit there and journal. These two kind of match. But yeah, leave that. Oh, crap, this is long. Well, alright, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'll show you the edge ones. If I had like a bookshelf in my closet that was large enough, I'd put these out so I could just see the edges. I really do like just seeing stacks and stacks of journals, preferably used ones, but blank ones will do it for me in a pinch. Alright, yeah, really. Have a good night. Bye.